Shalom fam, this is Or Ibri, author, writer, and investor. And I'm coming to you with a video this morning just about sowing and reaping in your life. First things first, my book is published. It's in the review phase. So once it's finished being reviewed, it's going to be up on Amazon. It's going to be up on other various platforms or websites. So I'm very excited about that, very happy about that. This book has been a long time coming. A lot of work, a lot of blood, a lot of sweat, a lot of tears. It's not, in my eyes, it's not perfect, but the Most High don't need you to be perfect. He just needs you to be whole, and he needs you to do what he tells you to do. So this book is my obedience to him, putting out the information for those that need it. So when it's released, you all will definitely know, and I want you to all go and check it out. Go get it, read it, pass it along to an individual who you feel needs the information, and let's build up our nation and build up this kingdom of ours. So this video I'm doing this morning, so one of my children's mother's birthday is today, and I was just texting her some words of wisdom, and I had something that hit me. Oh man. So a lot of times, a lot of us in our life, what we do, and this isn't directed toward her, this is just a thought that I was having after I sent the message. A lot of people in their life, they are reactive in their life. They're not proactive at all. So they literally wake up every single day, and whatever life throws at them, that's what they take. As opposed to setting up a plan for their life and then executing that plan and then living the life that they want to live, as opposed to living the life that life wants them to live. Here's the thing about life. First off, it never gets easier. So what you have to realize is that since it never gets easier, you're going to have to acquire a set of tools and a set of skills in order to be great in this life. But also in acquiring those skills and those tools, you have to know what your flow is in life. People are so absolvent to quote unquote life that they don't even realize the patterns in their life. They don't realize how things work and manifest in their life. So we're all creatures. We're all, a part of something that was created from a higher power. Now, when we look at plants, we're similar to plants. When we look at plants, there's a season for each plant. There's a season in when you plant a seed for specific plants, fruits, vegetables, flowers, etc. There's a specific season when you plant them. There's a specific season when you harvest them. There's a specific season when they bloom, and there's a specific season when they're in a dormant state. Some plants you can plant in the winter, and then they'll bloom and be ready to be harvested in the spring. Some of them you plant in the summer, and they're ready to harvest they bloom and they're ready to harvest in the fall. But every plant is different. However, if you were to go and just, without knowing when you're supposed to plant a specific fruit or vegetable, if you just went and just threw random seeds in the ground without knowing the cycle of that seed that you just put in the ground, you may or you may not be successful. You may or you may not be successful. That plant, that fruit, that veggie, that food, whatever it is that you're growing, it may or may not grow. It depends. You are the same exact way. There is a time and a season in your life to when you are supposed to be planting your seeds. And then there's a time and a season in your life to where you're supposed to be harvesting and reaping those seeds that you plant. If you don't know your life cycle, that's equivalent to shooting in the dark. You may hit, you may not hit, but you have to know your life cycle. Some of us don't even realize our cycles that we are in. Some of us go through the same thing over and over and over again, not realizing that we're in a cycle from before, because either we didn't learn the lesson before, or this is the cycle that our life creates for us. It may be different people. It may be a different environment. It may be a different scenario, but you're in the same exact cycle. These are things you have to pay attention to. These things are not by chance, or they don't just so happen to just be. Your life is built on a specific cycle, on a specific wave. And if you want to be fully successful, you have to know when that is. And the easiest way to know that, you basically have to do a back testing on your life. So you have to really sit down and look back over your life, and you have to look at, when were you successful? When were you not successful? What was going on? What were you doing? What were you not doing? And then you have to look at the commonalities in your life. So let's just say you had two separate girlfriends. Maybe you had a girlfriend in 93 and maybe you had another girlfriend in 2005. But both of those girlfriends didn't know each other, had nothing to do with each other, but they both said the same exact thing to you, or you had the same exact issue with both of them. Well, that was a cycle. So now you have to look back and see, well, where was I at in my life? What was my thought process? What was I doing? How was I maneuvering? X, Y, Z. And then you have to say, okay, so when I come to this cycle again, it's because this, and this happens. Well, this is how I solve this cycle. And then you move forward past that cycle. Also, when you're trying to be successful in life, okay, I know, and I know this is for me personally. When I look back on my life, I realized when I was younger and I played basketball growing up, it was the craziest thing. Basketball season started and I was always a little behind or whatever. But then it was like sometime around January, February time, every single season, it was like clockwork. No matter, I could put up more shots, lift more weights, all this and that. However, I would hit my peak in basketball season around January, February when I was in high school, every single year, without fail. I didn't realize that though until when I got older. And then when I got older, I also realized, well, around January, February, March time is when, for whatever reason, I receive an abundance of blessings. Things come my way. All of a sudden, I'm getting more favor. All of a sudden, things are coming to me. So I realized that about my life. So I know around this time, when life is happening, I'm going to have extreme favor. You have to figure out when your time is. So that way you don't allow yourself to fall short before then, or you don't allow yourself to become so discouraged to where when your opportunity does come, you block it or you miss it. So it's easy for me to quote unquote keep faith, or it's easy for me to continue to keep pushing because I know between January and April, January, March, I'm going to have high favor. So when things are really hard in October, November, December, now I can look forward and be like, well, I know in February, I know if I keep going, whatever I'm planting is going to harvest January, February, March. It happens to me every year. It was a couple of years in between, but like 2 or 3 years in my mid-20s to where it switched to where it was during the fall time when I was harvesting. But when I was younger and more recently in my late 20s and now here in my early 30s, it's always been like that. So if you know how things are, it makes it easier for you to plan. So it's extremely important that you understand the cycles and the patterns in your life that you have. You have to realize, last point, life is like building a house. Life is going to be hard. Like, we got to get out of our mind that life is supposed to be this easy. No, life is supposed to be hard. However, building a house, but it's comparable to building a home. Now, I know we live in the 21st century, so not a lot of people build their own homes from scratch. However, if you were building your own home from scratch, it would be extremely difficult. However, it's easier. It's not going to be hard, but building a home is easier when you have power tools, a power saw, a drill, ladders, and a crew. If you just show up to build a house with a hammer and a saw, the house you're going to be able to get it built, but it's going to be extremely difficult. And so I leave you with that wisdom. This is Ori Ibri. Have a beautiful day.